Hello, fellow gamers. I'm back once again. This time I'm playing Manic Miner on the Amstrad CPC 464. Cool news this time around, I actually fixed my Amstrad joystick here so the buttons actually work. So that's what I'm going to be playing this time with it. The last time I was playing Techno Cop, I was using an Atari 2600 controller because I hadn't fixed this one yet. So anyway, let's play. You didn't get to see the title screen though. So that's okay, I'm probably going to die off anyway. So this is a simple game, side perspective. I basically in this game only played this introductory screen, so that's all I understand, which is why this is a Jeremy Tries. So you walk left, right, you can jump. Gotta be careful not to touch those plants, because those are instant death. Instant death. And basically what you're supposed to do is get all the keys and then make it to the door that opens up. Now, I know the timing for this guy, you want to jump as he's coming at you. Otherwise that'll happen. I jumped too late. Jump. Last night I actually had this joystick ripped apart because before last night, the buttons in it were being quite shitty. Like you had to press the button at like the corner of it, like right there, and sometimes it would work, but now it works every time. Basically all I did was I opened it up, and underneath each of the buttons is kind of a metal dome thing, which the button squishes down to make contact with the circuit board underneath it. So I just, and there's tape on top of that. So I peeled back the tape, which peeled back the metal dome thing, exposing the circuit board, and then I just rubbed that with some rubbing alcohol and put the whole thing back together. And it works pretty good now. It's also a very good way of cleaning out your Atari controllers as well. Like my Atari paddles, like many Atari paddles these days that have survived, you rotate the knob and the thing on the screen just goes like that. But if you take them apart and you take the potentiometer apart, piss, squish by foot, very Monty Python style. Here's the title screen, by the way. Okay, we want to play. We want to play. Oh, but anyway, as I was saying about the Atari paddles, is once you take those apart and take apart the potentiometer that's in there, and then basically rub some rubbing alcohol over everything that's metal, and make sure it's nice and dry and clean, and you put it all back together, and that fixes it. You don't have to buy new paddles. You don't have to use aftermarket paddles, third-party paddles. You can keep using the ones you already have. Oh, that was close. Ah, shit. I'm not going to be able to make it across there now, am I? Because if I jump, I'm going to land on the plant, but if I walk, I'm going to fall through the hole. Oh, maybe, oh, it's a little bit Mario Brothers. Super Mario Brothers. I can walk over the gaps. Okay, so now I got all the keys. The goal is to get down to that flashing door right there. And I can't jump that way because I'm going to hit one of the plants. I can't fall down because I'll hit the other plant. So I'll go back over this guy's head. Maybe, hopefully. Oh god, that was close. Okay. Now let's get over there to the door before I run out of air. It's got an air meter down there below where it says Central Cavern. That's basically a timer. And that part confused me the first time I heard that, because that noise going down is actually your air counting down, and it sounds like a bad noise, but it's actually adding up your score, so it's a good noise. So how am I going to do this? Okay, I got an idea. Shit. I jumped an extra time, and I can't tell if I just barely clipped the edge of that penguin, or if there's falling damage in this game. No! Damn it. Well, that's interesting. If you land on the conveyor belt while you're going against it, then you can freely walk against it, but as soon as you stop, it starts pushing you in the direction that it's rotating. Got a grand total of 1 viewer on the stream right now, which is probably actually 0 viewers. That's fine, though. Means I get this game all to myself. Oh, son of it. Well, how the fuck do you get that? Do I have to jump over from this thing? No. Okay, the buttons are trying to not work. So maybe this thing is not fixed. Son of a penis. Oh, there we go. Okay, now I gotta watch out for that penguin down there. Oh, this is gonna be... This could be close. No, it's not gonna be close. Okay. I just gotta avoid this other penguin. One thing you may notice is that this game is not particularly taking advantage of the better color capabilities of the CPC 464. And that's because this was ported from the ZX Spectrum, whose hardware was very similar to the CPC 464, but not quite as capable, especially in the number of on-screen colors simultaneously supported. And a lot of the CPC's early games were Spectrum ports. Oh Jesus, this entire floor falls away. You better not kill me! Okay. See, it sounds like a bad noise. It sounds like a game over. Whatever that is above my head, I'm pretty sure that'll kill me. Because this game has taught me one thing since I first loaded it up for the very first time. It is, everything kills you. One thing about the jumping in this game is that it's similar to the jumping in the original Mario Brothers, in that once you jump, you are committed to that speed. You can't control your jump in the air, and actually there is no varying speed in this. Jesus, it like bounced me off the wall and started pushing me off the side of the conveyor belt. Oh, there is falling damage, son of a bitch. Damn, game's harsh. Let's try it again. I got some time. One game that I would like to see if exists for the CPC is Jet Set Willy, because I've played that on my Spectrum, not on my channel, just personally, and it has music in it, which is interesting because the Spectrum, before the Spectrum 128, did not have a music chip in it, and it has simultaneously playing music and sound effects. Piss. So that's pretty impressive for a game to do. And the miner in this game, I don't know if you actually noticed this on the title screen, the miner's name is Miner Willy. So that makes me wonder if, like, Jet Set Willy is a sequel to this game. It certainly shows bits of evolution in its design. Like I said, it has background music while you're playing. This game doesn't. So it would make sense if Jet Set Willy is the sequel to this game. And that's something else I like about these older game consoles and computers, is that as the hardware, as the skills of the programmers of that hardware matured, they gradually learned how to get more and more out of the hardware. So that meant that, god damn it, I did the same thing. That meant that the later in the lifetime of a console or a computer, the more impressive technically that the games were for those devices. But from what I've seen, that's not always true. I mean, it seems like in the older game consoles and computers, you take a look at the first generation games versus the last generation games. Like, take for example the NES. You look at the first generation games like Donkey Kong, and you compare those to a last generation game, or close to it, like Super Mario Bros. 3, and there is no comparison. Super Mario Bros. 3 is incredibly much more technically capable in every single conceivable way. But what I've noticed is... What I've noticed is, with each successive generation of consoles, that gap of technical impressiveness is getting smaller and smaller. So, if you take, for example, the Xbox One and PlayStation 4, and the Wii U, if after those consoles are done and gone, and you were to compare a first-generation game and a last-generation game, on a technical standpoint, the games would look very similar. So it's like, at the beginning of a console or a computer's lifetime, the software starts out taking much more advantage of what the hardware can do. And that's a good thing in one way, because that means you get great games, really great, impressive games right out the gate. But in another way, it means that the games don't have much room to grow as the console gets older. And I kind of miss that. So sad. Damn it. See, when the conveyor right there was pushing me, I was actually holding left on the joystick. And it was pushing right anyway. Okay. I'm gonna do this. Okay. Piss! Goddamn falling damage. I think in this conversion box that I'm using to convert SCART to HDMI, there is a little bit of a delay. But it's nothing that makes these games unplayable. Not by a long shot. Because these computers were pretty slow, and which meant the gameplay was pretty slow. Which means there's lots of time to try and get it right. Oh god, that was close. I am positive that, like, the little lantern on the front of my miner hat clipped that ostrich. If that's what that is. Oh, that's death. Yep, that's death. Son of a bitch. Did I do that same thing the last time? I want to give it one more shot. See if I can clear that. What is that, third level? Fourth level? I haven't actually been counting. Because gameplay-wise, while I've been playing this, I've just kind of been zoning out, which is probably why I've been talking so much. But I like that. I like that I can just kind of relax while I play a game like this. There's just enough to engage my brain, but there's not so much that I have to devote all of my focus to it. And that's something else I like about these old games. They're simple. I guess the equivalent these days would be... No, I'm not even going to make that comparison. That's not fair, and it's an insult to these games. It's an insult to these games and the people who played them. Darwaby. Oh, and also, I just purchased an Amstrad CPC 6128 online. So hopefully, because the person selling it doesn't really know if it works. They say that it worked the last time that they tried it, and I didn't ask when that was. And they did say that they weren't able to get the disk drive working in it. But the seller of it, I don't think knows much about the computer, because he's in the US and it's a UK computer. Now, mind you, the 6128 was released in a limited fashion in the United States, but it's more likely that the computer that he has that I bought is one that was imported from the UK. But regardless, however he got the computer, whether it's US or UK originally, I get the impression from him that he doesn't know a lot about it. And so I think that the reason why he said that the floppy drive doesn't work is because he wasn't powering it. Because on the 6128, you have to power the computer and the floppy drive independently with separate power cables, even though both are integrated into the same case, which seems kind of weird. And I think that that is not true for the CPC 6128 Plus, which was a later redesign of the original 6128. So I'm hoping and praying that... Hoping and praying that this 6128 that I just bought, that the disk drive is fine in it, and he just wasn't powering it properly, and that it'll work okay. But even if that's not the case, I have another option for doing that. Turns out that the floppy drive connector on the back of the 6128, you can plug an ordinary PC floppy drive into, and then plug a 3.5-inch floppy drive into that, and with a couple of very minor modifications to the cable, it'll work perfectly. So, aren't standards amazing? So yeah, that's probably what I'm going to be doing about this time next week. So, until then, I'll be doing more videos, playing more stuff, and swearing my head off, and showing you cool stuff. So until then, see ya.